Good evening and welcome to this next Railsim Gamer video. Today we are actually doing something a bit different that doesn't involve driving a train in Manchester or the North, which I know has been the theme for the last few weeks. So it actually came up a few weeks ago when I was putting this post here saying we're planning our next scenario, and people go, damn, what's that bit of software you're using and how the hell do we use RW Tools? So, as I just said, we're using a bit of software called RW Tools, which is a Railworks tool which is used for building scenarios, scripting, and just making general changes to scenarios on the fly. So today's video we're actually going to go through how to change the current driving or locomotive or train in a scenario without having to change and replan the whole timetable. So I will show you what I mean by this by opening up Train Simulator. So we're going to go to Steam here, done that, wrong one even. Going to go to Steam, Train Simulator Classic, and we're going to run it in 64-bit like normal. Once this loads, I will show you what I mean. So to check what scenario we're going to do, we're going to go to Build, followed by Scenario, and we are going to go to the Hope Bay line, which was in our last video. We actually used this software to change a, not error in this, but a train in this scenario last week, as it was meant to be a Class 142 Pacer bus. We actually changed it to a Class 170, and we're going to show you how to change it to a Class 153, to a twin set, so in a Class 155, if you will. So we're going to go to our scenario here. I'm going to show you the current train that's sat in there, which would be the Class 150. So if you see here, here's the current train, and if you see above the train, you've got the instructions which run the scenario, which you can see just here in the timetable tab, and this train is that one there. You can tell it's a player train because it actually has a P in brackets which tells player, and you can see the scenario and the timetable here. If I was to go and just delete this train and have to re-add, put another train in, we'd have to rebuild the scenario and the timetable, which is something which is just not fun and something we don't need to do, and this is a really simple way to make sure you get these instructions up here onto the new train. So first of all, what we're going to do, we're actually going to close Train Simulator. So RW Tools was built a few years ago. It's actually a free bit of software. It wasn't back in the day, but it is now free. I'll put a link in the description. And it's a very powerful bit of software used by developers. It is a very powerful bit of software used to sort of engage and manipulate the content already in Train Simulator. We're just going to start with something simple today and changing the locomotive in the scenario. So to do this, you'll be presented with this screen when you first opened RW Tools. You're going to go to Scenario and then Edit Scenarios, and here it brings up a sort of list of all the lines you have in Train Simulator, and when you click on one, it'll list the scenarios down here in this box here. So it's important to make a note of what scenario you're actually editing in Train Simulator, and I would suggest if you're going to go and edit one that someone else made, that you clone it so you don't end up ruining the original thing. I know I've called it Class 170, that's from last week when we changed it. So we're going to open that one there and click Edit Selected Scenario. This is going to bring up this screen. You're like, oh my god, look at all this stuff. You don't need to worry about 90% of what's on the screen. The most important things are here, 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 and there, the save button. But don't worry about all this stuff unless you want to change it, obviously. So in this box just here, you have all the trains which are in that scenario, and these are all the consists which have already been built. It's important that you know what train you're actually editing before you start changing these, because you might change them and then realise, oh, I can't see it, and you've probably changed the wrong train, it's actually out of view. So I know for well that this train is actually the 2014 Manchester Piccadilly service, so it's this one just here. And then in this box, once you click it, it will show what actually what sort of makes this train up, what it consists of, so we know it's the Free Courage Class 170. So we're going to replace this with a Class 153. We're going to set a pair of Class 153s, two northern ones to be precise. So to do this, you actually need to navigate to this box here, go to Railworks and Assets, and then in Assets you'll see all the assets where the trains are. So I know full well it's important that you know who the developer of the train is. You can often do this by just going through the files. So Just Trains made the Class 153 a few years ago. So I'm going to go down here and find Class 153, which is just here. When I get to this folder, I'm not going to do anything else apart from add it to my list. So when you need to add, if you the trains that you can replace it with, you click on the train. So once you've done that, you need to click on the actual type of train, which is diesel, and then click add to list. It will then listen just here. So when you find the train that you want, so we want a Northern Rail one, which is just here, you click it, that one, and it will normally bring a picture up down here, and then you click the train or the carriage that you want to replace. So we're going to replace this one first, and we're going to click this swap selected items, and it will say yes, it's done that, and you simply click OK. We're going to also add another train to it, which is this one here again, so we're going to have two, and I'm going to click select swap selected item just here. But you also know, oh hang on, we've got too many carriages, I only want two. You can just delete them by clicking here, the carriage, and then click delete item. It'll do this. Nothing will happen until we click save, so make sure you click save, and then once you restart RW Tools, the change should take place. So I'm going to click this here, it says change been done. So hopefully that is now changed. So if we now go into Train Simulator once again, we should hopefully have two Class 153 sat there ready to go. So we'll go to build, scenario, Hope Valley, followed by the scenario which is this one just here. Sometimes you have to make little tweaks to the train, sometimes they have a bit of a habit getting in the wrong rotation when you put them in Train Simulator, but that is very easy to correct, and I'll show you how to do that. So you can see here the two Class 153s that we literally just put in with RW Tools. So we haven't actually had to change it in any way, it's just imported them itself. And you can also see that the instructions have now carried themselves on top of the train, which means we haven't had to do it. The only thing I have noticed about this is actually the wrong way round. So to switch this set around, so I'm going to click shift on my keyboard, it's going to set the whole train, and you just click this arrow just here, and now the train's facing the wrong way, the right way. So if we now click play, this should work. So sometimes you get this error about the train running out of fuel. We can easily fix that. So click OK. It's going to take you back to the main menu. We're just going to have to go back to scenario and edit. So when it says trains run out of fuel, it's because we haven't actually set the fuel amount for the train. This was a bug that I found. It's not even a bug, it's a bug I found a few weeks ago when building a scenario, and it drove me mad for absolute hours. I couldn't work it out, did loads of reading, couldn't find it, but there's a very simple way of fixing the bug, and I'll show you that now. So our train here, we know it's right around, we're just literally going to double click on it, and a menu should open just here. If you see this up here, there is the fuel amount for the train, and we're just going to set that 100%. Don't need to do anything else. We can do the one behind it as well if we want to, but you shouldn't have to because it's actually, they should be together. So just like this, and then when we click play this time, it should avoid having that bug, I hope. There we go, the bug is now gone, and the scenario is running like normal. So hopefully that has taught you how to pretty much a bit of an introduction to RW Tools, and in particular the scenario editor. If you like this video, please give it a big fat thumbs up. If you didn't, dislike. If you give it a comment, and above all else, please give us a lovely subscribe. We'll be forever grateful, and hopefully in the future we can bring more videos like this, quite short ones, and to get you into a Train Simulator Pro quickly. Thank you.